Team Millennium 2. Now, I'll read this first of all about Millennium. Millennium was a comic book crossover storyline that ran through an 8-issue self-titled limited series and various other titles cover dated January and February 1988 by DC Comics. The limited series was published weekly, which was a departure for an American series. It was written by Steve Englehart and with art by Joe Staton and Ian Gibson. Plot. The story took place at a time when the Guardians of the Universe had left Earth's dimension along with their mates, the Zamorans. However, one Guardian, Harupa Hando, and his Zamoran mate, Nadia Safir, traveled to Earth and announced to the world that they would select 10 persons who would become the new Guardians of the Universe and give birth to a new race of immortals. They gathered Earth's superheroes and sent them to find the chosen persons who came from various parts of the world. One of them turned out to be Hal Jordan's friend, Thomas Kalmaku, while another was the former villain known as the Floronic Man. Manhunters. Unknown to everyone, the robotic cult known as Manhunters, whom the Justice League believed had been destroyed years before, had found a sphere that Harbinger had used to store all the information she had gathered about the universe after the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Because of it, they knew the secret identities of Earth's heroes and had planted their agents, including androids, mind-controlled humans, and willing human agents, close to them. In other words, many of the supporting characters featured in the hero's own comic titles were revealed to be Manhunters. On finding out about the search for the Chosen, the Manhunters decided to prevent it and have their agents reveal themselves and attack Earth's heroes. The heroes, joined by Harbinger, defeated Manhunter agents and then attacked their home planet, defeating the cult again. New Guardians. The heroes managed to gather most of the Chosen, but 2 were killed over the course of the series. One, Terror of the Teen Titans, was already dead before it started, and one was senile. Another Chosen, a white supremacist from South Africa named Jamon Croth, eventually left the group because it contained non-white members. The Guardian and the Zamoran then died, activating the latent powers of the remaining Chosen. They became a new superhero group, the New Guardians, which had its own comic series afterwards, also by Englehart and Staton. The new series only lasted 12 issues. The True Chosen. The spirits of Haru and Saphir later appeared and explained that alternate plans had also been put in motion and that a group of beings created by Kruth would be the True Chosen. The New Guardians later disbanded. The current status of the second Chosen is unknown. The Manhunters are practically active again. Okay. So, the New Guardians and that Guardian of the Universe, Harupa, whoever it was, with his Zamoran wife, they're involved with Team Millennium, and it's what it is. It's the old group of New Guardians and the new group of New Guardians. They're also involved in the Team Millennium comic, and part of the notion of Millennium in the original idea is, of course, the original idea of Millennium, which was the limited series, and it had a concept associated with the time of Millennium or something. I think it was every 1,000 years something happened or something. I can't remember for sure. But part of the focus of Millennium, the miniseries for DC Noah, is that those concepts come into the Team Millennium comic involving the Millennial Stones. It's interwoven in as much as the New Guardians are probably ones who have an objective to gather Millennium Stones, like Team Millennium wants to hunt them down for serving protection and power for Earth. But the New Guardians function not just for Earth, but for the Guardians of the Universe. And they want to gather the Millennium Stones to take control of them, to use them responsibly for proper administration of the universe, for proper administration. So they're competing powers, essentially, with Team Millennium. They're also competing powers, the New Guardians are competing powers in the Team Millennium comic to also gain control of the Millennial Stones. And the other competing powers are quite obviously Apocalypse with Darkseid and King Cosmos, who probably will stay around in the end. He'll probably return. They also are after the Millennial Stones, as the other players in the DC Noah history so far are. So Team Millennium, the concept is essentially, the main team is, of course, Team Millennium itself, blue and gold with Wild Dog and Panther and so forth. They're the main stars of the story. But it's essentially about sort of trying to gain access to finding and the millennial artifacts and the powers that they using those powers, the powers that display, and just adventures involving millennial stones essentially, and different power seekers who want to gain them to use the powers they have to further their own ambitions in life.